Roger Stone joins us, the political strategist, relatively newly pardoned by President Trump. I'm so glad that happened. Welcome, Roger Stone. How are you tonight?
Oh, Greg, it's great to be back with you again. I'm a huge admirer of your father's, one of the greatest New York police commissioners in history, and I'm a great admirer of yours and your reporting over the years. So I'm glad to be with you. And Newsmax is on fire. It's an honor to be on Newsmax.
Well, thank you so much. And congratulations, seriously, about the pardon. You were on the verge of going to jail. It was that close, I believe. How do you feel? Is the novelty worn off? Is it back to business as usual, or do you feel like a lucky man? What's on your mind right now?
Well, first of all, I've been very forthright about the fact that I thank God Almighty and His only begotten Son, Jesus Christ, who I prayed to fervently. I reaffirm my faith. I was a lapsed Catholic. I know this isn't religious programming, but those are the facts. And I believe the Lord gave the president the wisdom and the strength and the courage to acknowledge that I was subjected to a Soviet-style show trial, that the motives of my prosecution were political to begin with, that there was misconduct in my trial at the jury level, by the judge, by the prosecutors. It just wasn't fair. And then the effort to railroad me at age 68 and with a history of asthma into a COVID-19 infested prison, despite the Department of Justice and the Bureau of Prisons' own regulations. Today, it was a great act of courage by the president. So I'm thankful, but unfortunately, the witch hunt never ends. I mean, for 2 years, I was subjected to false charges that I was a Russian asset, that I had colluded with the Russian state to help steal an election for Donald Trump, that I was a collaborator of WikiLeaks. And then on Election Day at midnight, just weeks ago, the U.S. Department of Justice released the last remaining unredacted sections of the Mueller report, which admitted they never had any factual evidence against me whatsoever in that regard. Of course, CNN and ABC and the New York Times, who charged me with treason and worse, they didn't report those things. The fake news media they are really out of control.
Hey, a half hour ago, they were still on your case. I got a little clip. CNN putting you in Washington, D.C. on January 6th, which, of course, is not against the law. And I want to point out how Mr. Stone is dressed in this clip. He does not look like he's dressed to riot, but take a look at this. And there's some commentary from CNN and some reporting, and then we'll talk.
On the morning of January 6th, Roger Stone, leaving the Willard Hotel in Washington, D.C., would stop to chat, take pictures. And by his side, what appeared to be bodyguards. The man standing near Roger Stone and wearing a VIP credential for the Rally to Save America is Roberto Minuta, according to 4 sources who know him. And hours after appearing to escort Roger Stone on January 6th, Minuta would be captured in this video at the Capitol, screaming at police.
I think Minuta was in the tan pants. I don't know. You weren't there. What's the significance of that? I think it's, by the way, a good idea that you're walking around with security. You're very identifiable. But your reaction to what you just saw?
Yeah, I think that's a very important point, and that is my family and I, my wife, my children, my grandchildren, even my great-grandchild, have endured incredible number of threats over the last 2 years, culminating post-pardon. There was an act of violence against my wife in the front yard that I reported to the local police. There have been ugly incidents in public. So unfortunately, I require this for my own safety. But this is guilt by association. This is claiming that because this gentleman, who I actually never met and whose name I did not learn until now, worked as a volunteer to provide security for me, because all off-duty DC police officers who one would normally employ for private security were tied up with duty. I mean, during my trial, there were so many crazies attacking me and my family that I was required to hire off-duty officers to protect us. And they knew the local police, obviously, and we had a good liaison. So to just imply that this man, they go on to say, he may have been involved inside the Capitol. Well, that's jumping to conclusions. I have no advanced knowledge whatsoever of this politically senseless and incredibly stupid illegal act of violence, which did not serve the president well. I don't know what reasonable person could think that trespassing and destroying public property and presumably threatening members of Congress would help the president's cause. But to imply that I either approve of this, knew about it in advance, or had any role in it is total guilt by association. I never I actually never left my hotel other than that brief stretch.
Hey, if you were on Capitol Hill,
I was arriving. I stepped outside for air because they wouldn't let you congregate in the lobby.
You don't have to. We get it. We totally get it. And if you were on Capitol Hill, hell, there would have been video. You're a very recognizable guy. By the way, they keep calling it an attempted coup, Not one gun, okay? Not one gun was discovered. They've arrested a lot of people. No guns. If this was really a coup, I want to ask you this, though. Do you have concerns? Some say this is a conspiracy theory. I think it's looking at the facts and asking important questions that aren't being asked. Why was security so catastrophically poor around the Capitol? You've seen the footage by now. At certain points, people were being allowed in. Yes, there were struggles. Yes, there was violence, but there were other parts where it was like, step this way, right inside, no problem. What could have happened there?
Well, it's very hard to say. Look, Nancy Pelosi has the legal responsibility for the security of the Capitol. That's the correct place to address those questions. Just to be absolutely clear, though, AOC and I have one big thing in common. Neither one of us was at the Capitol on the 6th. I wasn't on the ellipse. I didn't march to the Capitol. I wasn't on the Hill, and I wasn't there. And I have no knowledge of those foolish and unlawful events. If anyone is involved, regardless of what organization they belong to, they should be prosecuted to the full extent of the law. Yeah. And if Parler was still up, you'd be able to see that I said that in my feed within minutes of seeing this tragic act of misjudgment.
You mentioned you are now a Christian. You were a lapsed Catholic, born again, I think is safe to say. I am curious. Yes. Let's face it, you had a reputation as a bit of a political hardball player. Let's just say that, okay, over the years.
You're being nice about it.
Okay,
you had a reputation as a bit of a libertine.
So,
but people change.
Yeah,
people
no,
change.
totally. I'm curious, like day to day, how has your life changed now that you have accepted Christ and you like? Tell us more about that, if you would. I'm sure people would love to hear.
Well, first of all, I have a first great-grandchild, which could be the greatest experience a man can have. And I have a loving family of children and grandchildren, and now a great-grandchild. And this makes life worth living. I never wanted to work this hard at age 68, but as you know, this kind of legal struggle just wipes you out. So, yes, we lost our home, we lost our insurance, we lost our savings. For 2 years, I couldn't make a living. Now I can begin writing and speaking again and analyzing politics and get back to what I love. But I don't like the launching of Witch Hunt 2 by CNN and ABC and others who are irresponsibly accusing me of things I know nothing whatsoever about, and there's no evidence to tie me to. It's the worst kind of new McCarthyism.
You know, one thing, you keep saying you're 68 years old. First of all, you look like you're 58. And some of the people who have done best in, you know, I wouldn't mention the age so much. You know what I mean? You got a lot of life left. Hey, look at Trump. He's 6 years older than you. And who knows how long he's going to go. And there you are together, by the way. Hey, real quick before we go. Wow, this is a long time ago. When did you first meet Donald Trump? And I believe at the very beginning, you saw presidential possibilities in him.
Well, that's the tragedy of this impeachment. You see, I think they want to bury the great accomplishments of President Donald Trump the way they buried the accomplishments of Richard Nixon in one word, Watergate. Nixon got us a strategic arms limitation control agreement with the Soviets, ended the war in Vietnam, opened the door to China to play them off against the Russians and so on. But when they say Nixon, what do people say? Oh, Watergate. See, they'd like to do that with Donald Trump, but Donald Trump built the most robust, extraordinary economy in American history, record job growth, record wage growth, record low levels of unemployment.
Roger, he did so much.
I don't want to bury that.
He did so much. I do want to find out, though, when did you first meet him, and did you know right away, hey, this guy can be POTUS?
I met him in 1979 when I was sent to New York to organize the state for then Governor Ronald Reagan's presidential campaign. We were introduced and a meeting was secured because I knew Trump was a Republican. I knew that he was wealthy, and I knew he didn't like Jimmy Carter. He received me, and I pitched him very hard on Reagan. He and his father both joined our finance committee, and we became friends. After Reagan's election, and I hung my shingle doing public affairs, the Trump organization was among my first clients, and a friendship and a business relationship ensued. He was at my wedding. I was at 2 of his weddings. I have great affection for him and his family. What I've always liked, and I did first suggest this in 1988, is Trump's independence, his toughness and his independence.
It's amazing.
He was not beholden to either party or the elites of either party. He was not a neocon. He was a man who could not be bought, could not be bossed, could not be outworked. And it made him a great president.
I'm sorry, I got to go.
And they can't take that record away and erase it. We cannot let that happen.
We won't let it happen, and it won't happen. Thank you very much. Roger Stone, to be continued. Sorry, I got to wrap it up right there. Take care. Talk soon.
Hi, Emma Reckenberg here. If you like this video, there's a whole lot more to see on Newsmax TV. You can watch for free right here on our YouTube live stream and be the first one here each time our experts break down real news. Just hit that subscribe button, ring the bell icon, and stay with us on America's fastest growing cable news channel, Newsmax TV.